Alright, hello. Hopefully the stream is back up. Oh, please be back up. I think it is. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm so sorry. The stream completely just shut itself off. I didn't even click end stream, so I have zero idea why it's done that. But fortunately, we've been able to return before the end of qualifying. But let's quickly recap you. I do apologize. I will try and maybe edit the start of the qualifying session in. But anyway, Chain Game Wow sits on pole position at the moment. Only a couple 100ths of a second separate himself. And, well, both the McLarens, actually. Himself and both the McLarens behind. Oh, but Chain Game Well, Gaming Burger, and Young Lights in P2 and 3. OWR Martin Bell in P4 at the moment, ahead of the Racing Point of Iceman, CS 13 in P5. Gaming Way for P6, Marco Berta 7th, Rogue Flash 8th, Banana Cake Pie in P9, and rounding out your top 10 is the Williams of the Todd. P11 will be Nunny 007 ahead of Brayley, Dr. Dre, Strauss, Ozone Zero, Christopher, and unfortunately the two Haas's have retired, and Vale Beast down in P9, and is now Chain Game Way, improves on his time with a 1 minute 4.390. But again, I do highly apologize about that, guys. I don't have any clue why that did that. It actually looks like it's raining now. So unfortunately, it's actually started raining in this session. So that's actually interesting. So I don't think any other driver is going to improve here, because the track conditions are only going to get worse from now onwards. So Chain Game Wow sits on pole position. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure everything's back up and running. Looks like Young Lights is on a lap. Let's try to more with him as he's currently sitting in P3. I'm not expecting him to improve anymore. As you can see the amount of understeer he's having at the moment. Is he actually up on his time? He should be crossing now 6/10 of a second down. So don't think anyone's going to be improving here. As you can see, Chain Game's retired. There's a minute and 47 seconds remaining in the session. So is Dr. Dre. So that looks like it will be your grid most likely, unless someone has found a lot of time. And Young Lights has unfortunately aborted that lap. Iceman will abort this lap as well. So that looks like that will be your race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Global Series. The qualifying session. Sorry, I just brought up that commentator overlay. I clicked the wrong button. I apologize. It's only X15, not Matt Kentenma. He's not in the commentary box with me this afternoon. Sorry about this, guys. There's been a massive stuff up here this afternoon. It's been a bit hard to go straight from Elite Series to Global Series. But anyway. So it looks like everyone's going to retire here from the session. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream back. And I would also like to point out as well, thank you guys so much as well for 500 subscribers on the Race Spec F1 Esports channel. That is a pretty good milestone. That's half of 1,000, so that's pretty good for, in around, what, 9 months we've got 500 subs. This league has completely just grown in Season 2 of the Regional Series, and just now to continue that over with the Global Series, that's a massive achievement. I'd like to thank everyone for subscribing, all the managers as well of Race Spec who run everything as well. Thank you guys so much to them, and everyone that obviously watches the streams. Thank you guys so much. But there's 18 seconds now remaining in the session. I think everyone should just retire here. I'm not too sure as well what the go is with the weather as well, so hopefully that improves. Now we will get the results from the qualifying session. These are the official results. Chain Game Wow, 4 100ths of a second separated himself and Gaming Burger in P2. Then 8 100ths of a second separated himself and Young Light. So it's going to be very tight between these three by the looks of it, assuming it will be a dry race. So that is your top three for the qualifying session of the Global Series. OWR Martin Bell came home P4 for Alfa Romeo ahead of Iceman in P5, who rounds out your top 5 for Racing Point ahead of the Gaming Way for Marco Berta, Rogue Flash, Banana Cake Pie, and Rennie at your top 10 will be V-Todd. Nunny came home P11 for Ferrari ahead of Brayley, Dr. Dre, Strauss, Ozone, Christopher, YWR Marcus, Ferry, and Vale Beast will round out your grid. But I'm going to let the drivers now head over to the grid for the Grand Prix. Let me know some more predictions in the live chat, and we'll be back with you shortly. Hey guys, so I do apologize real quick. Unfortunately, we've had a little error with the lobby again, so give us like 5-ish or so minutes and we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so we are officially back now. I do apologise for that little incident there. Unfortunately with the lobby, it just crashed on us. So it's been a bit painful here this stream. We've had a copyright claim already from F1 on a stream that lasted about 10 seconds. So that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it's been a great day for F1 commentating, but anyway, we are now going to have the PS4 Global Series, so the best of the drivers in the Global Series tier. So we have two tiers on PS4, obviously Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 2 was on about an hour and a half ago, commentated by Plebs, so if you guys want to go check that out, go watch that after this stream, but stay tuned for this one because this is going to be a tight battle. Obviously, Chain Game WoW, just a little reminder as well, I'll go through your order from what qualifying was as well, but 8/100ths of a second separated the top three of Chain Game WoW, Gaming Burger, and Young Lights. That is how tight it is at the moment between our top three. So it's going to be a battle here on our hands this afternoon. OWR Martin Bell came home P4 for Alfa Romeo ahead of Iceman CS13 in P5. Gaming Wafer, I should say, in P6 ahead of Marco Boda 7th, Rogue Flash 8th. 9th will be Banana Cake, Pi4 Racing Point, and rounding out your top 10 will be VTOD for the Williams team. Nunny in P11, Brayley P12, 13th, Dr. Dre 3000. 14th will be Strauss ahead of Ozone Zero, 15th, 16th. Christopher Ferry, 17th, 18th, Veiled Beast, and unfortunately there was a driver, I believe it was Marcus, that unfortunately will not be racing. I'm not too sure why, but he joined the qualifying session, but unfortunately wasn't able to race. I'm not too sure why, but doesn't matter. We still have 18 drivers here this afternoon. Hopefully they can put on a show. 36 laps around the Austrian Grand Prix circuit, also known as the Red Bull Ring. Let me know in the live chat now your predictions, your top three predictions for the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Global Series Austrian Grand Prix. As now they are heading through the penultimate corner, about to line up on the grid. About 500 meters to turn one. from the start line. Normally turn 1 as well. A lot of the mayhem happens as well. And also heading into turn 2 with the hairpin. Slowest corner on the track. As the drivers are now forming up, we're going to ride, as you can see, Chain Game Wow waiting for those green flags to be waved and that light sequence to begin right in front of his eyes. I think we're just waiting for Veil Beast now, as you can see on your screens to line up. Green flags have been waved, as you can see in the background, waiting for the red lights to show up on their screens. As you can see, the light sequence is now beginning for the drivers. 5 red lights. And a very long hold, but we eventually get underway. Chain Game Wow looks like he's going to have a bit of pressure here by Gaming Burger heading into turn 1. The two McLarens actually end up going side by side, but Gaming Burger sticks his nose in there. He cuts that corner there, so that's going to be a warning there for Gaming Burger, but he survives, and there's a massive spin at the back there. That looks like it's a door, and there's a massive crash at the back of the grid. There's a lot of cars that have been sent to Narnia here, and unfortunately, that's going to be a safety car here in this Grand Prix. That's at least 10 cars that have got damage. Looked like that involved Banana Cake Pie. He's got massive damage on that Racing Point car. That was I'm looking on my second screen at the moment of the replay, and it looks like that was an a Racing Point. They got caught up in that, so I'm assuming that was Iceman because he was there. He got a pretty poor start, but unfortunately I think he got tangled up there with an Alfa Romeo at the start of the race. Not too sure what's happened there. But, okay, so we've just got confirmation that it was a Renault apparently, so potentially Veil Beast. Actually, no, Marco Boda's retired, so Marco Boda could have had a little bit of play in this, but fortunately for all these guys, the safety car is out, so they can come into the pits and change their front wing without losing too much time, but obviously the whole strategy is gone now. So there's only going to be a couple of drivers, I believe, here that are going to stay out, and you can see that's Road Flash into the pit lane now for Mercedes, so he's getting off those soft tyres as soon as possible, but at the end of lap 2, Chain Game Wow will lead the way ahead of the two McLarens of Gaming Burger and Young Lights. P4 will be OWR Martin Bell ahead of the Gaming Way for MP5. P6, Nunny ahead of Dr. Dre, Ozone Zero. Dr. Dre is actually up 6 spots from that as well, so he's done a pretty nice job to avoid that. Nunny's up 5 spots, so they've all done pretty well, assuming that none of them have damage. Doesn't look like Dr. Dre has any damage, nor does Ozone. I'm not too sure. I think it'd be dumb if you didn't pit here, to be honest. As you can see, Christopher runs off the track. I'm not too sure what it is in there. You got a 10-second penalty, so not too sure what happened there, but very... So it looks like the last of the drivers that have not pitted will be Iceman, and I thought he was one of the ones that got caught up in that incident. But he looks like he's got no damage, so... Rogue Flash, V Todd, Strauss, Banana Cake Pie, and Brayley all had to come into the pits, and unfortunately Marco Boda had the worst possible outcome in that, and he did retire from the Austrian Grand Prix, making it the first retirement so far, but I believe we're going to be out for another lap of safety cars. We're still waiting for that Mercedes down, heading into turn 2, as you can see on your mini-map, to rejoin the back of the field. The safety car likes to stay out all the way until the whole field has caught up, so... You see Chain Game Wow trying to warm his tyres up as much as possible. He actually nearly ran off the track there to Chain Game, but anyway, let's have a quick look at the moment to see what tyres everyone is on. So Chain Game, everyone that started in the qualified in the top 10 should have put on that soft compounded tyre. Obviously, these are all going to be fresh tyres now, so this could change the strategy a little bit here for the drivers, but obviously Chain Game Wow, Young Lights, OWR Martin Bell, Gaming Wafer, and Nunny are all on that soft compounded tyre. Nunny was the only driver, I believe, that did start outside of the top 10. Dr. Dre did as well. Well, Nunny is the only soft driver, I believe, that did start outside the top 10. Actually, no, that's incorrect. There's a couple of drivers. But anyway, Veil Beast, 5-second penalty, extending track limits, under safety car. So you can't argue that it is a dumb penalty, but you're under safety car conditions, so you shouldn't really be... There's no reason for you to be track extending unless you're avoiding a driver that might brake checked you, but anyway. So as you can see, the current from P13 down, all those drivers have made a pit stop in this Grand Prix so far. Oh, who's that pulling off to the side? That's a Mercedes, a Brayley, so I'm not too sure what he's doing there. He's on the hard compounded tyre. Let's have a look. So he's on the hards. Banana's gone onto the softs, so that's interesting. Strauss on the mediums. V-Todd on the hards. Rogue Flash. Actually, so I think that's what Banana's trying to do here. He's going onto the soft so he can make as much positions up as possible, because the hards are definitely not making it to the end. So he's going to try and do the same strategy as what the medium runners are doing. So he's going to try and go as quick, or get through these drivers as quick as possible here. And then go on to the mediums, potentially even a little bit later than what the other drivers do in front of him. So he should be potentially pretty comfortable to get to the end of the race. So we'll have to see how he goes. But the safety car now is into the pit lane. Well, has pulled away from the grid. As you can see, he's really backing him up at the moment, is Chain Game. Wow. Haven't had any predictions in the live chat. Let me know to everyone that's watching. And thank you guys so much for watching as well. Obviously, we just hit 500 subscribers yesterday, so that is a massive achievement for everyone at Spec. But it looks like Chain Game Wow has now accelerated from the field, and 5-second penalty for the Racing Point driver of Iceman for a collision with Vale Beast. But we're going to continue now. It looks like the Alfa Romeo of Martin Bell's trying to make a move now on the McLaren in front of him of Young Lights. He goes down the inside, and he does cut him off there, does Young Lights, but I don't think Martin Bell was really up far alongside enough, but now he pulls to the outside line, inside line for this little left king, but it will swap to the outside line as they head into turn 2. Will he get the move done? Young Lights inside line, but he does, and he forces the McLaren, so the Alfa Romeo driver out wide, and now the Toro Rosso of the Gaming Wafer now up into P4, and it looks like the two McLarens are now going to battle. Gaming Wafer and Young Lights, he's going to get down the inside now, other two McLarens. Gaming Burger has now actually made a move now on his teammate, so I think he may have made a little error there, did Gaming Burger, because Young Lights was just battling with the Alfa Romeo of Martin Bell, so I think Gaming Burger may have made a little incident or accident there, mistake on his part. But now Chain Game Wow, 1.1 seconds already between himself and the McLaren behind, so he's got a pretty comfortable lead at the moment as they are about to start lap 5 as they head into the final corner. As you can see, that's Gaming Wafer, or Gaming, sorry, I keep saying gaming, there's two gaming names in here, Gaming Wafer and Gaming Burger, so I'm always going to get that wrong. Chain Game Wow goes fast with the 1 minute 8.243, so Gaming Wafer MP4, Gaming Burger, okay, my English is atrocious, Gaming Burger MP2. So the McLaren driver trying to catch up. He's pulled in 0.5 of a second already, so he's getting a nice slipstream at the moment. Didn't have DRS that time, I believe, but he will get DRS heading down this second straight as he goes under the Rolex board. Actually, no, there's no DRS available. I'm really not thinking at the moment, but I think Nunny, a massive crash. That's a massive incident there. I do believe Nunny was at the thick of it. But anyway, we're going to ride on board now with Christopher and Ozone. They're going to go side by side heading into turn 3. The Williams tries to force the Toro Rosso. Wow, but the Toro Rosso has run way too deep. And now the Williams will get the switchback maneuver as they head into turn 4. Who's going to get the move done? They're lagging a little bit, and it looks like the Toro Rosso will now get himself up into P6. But there's little contact there between the Williams and the Toro Rosso, but they both get away with it. So now Ozone up into P6. And unfortunately for Nunny, I'm not too sure what happened to him there. He dropped a lot of positions off that race at the start of, the exit of turn 1. Gaming Burger now fast with the 1 minute 8.1. So the McLaren driver really starting to catch up to Chain Game Wow. He will now have DRS available to him. Does he chuck it up in an overtake? He's only running in high at the moment. Now he's back down to none, so he's not trying to or attempt to making an overtake heading into turn 2 as they now do so. He's much cheaper on the brakes. That was a McLaren driver. He might try and set up a maneuver here though. He's up in a high. Now back down, so I think he might just try and save a little bit of DRS here behind that Red Bull driver. He doesn't really need to push too much at the moment. His teammate's a little bit behind, 0.6 of a second separate those two. It looks like Christopher and Ozone are now swapping positions. The Williams driver back up into P6, and you see the Toro Rosso actually made contact there with the gearbox of that Williams, so that could be potential damage to the front wing on that Toro Rosso car. But Banana Cake Pie's already up into P11 from the rear of the grid, so he's doing a pretty good job here. He's pretty much on the same strategy as everyone else at the moment, so all the other soft tyre runners. He may be able to last a little bit longer in this Grand Prix, but that's actually a smart call there from Banana Cake Pie. He really thought it through. Obviously, a lot of the drivers that pitted on that lap 1 after that first lap incident, they all went onto the hard tyre as Young Lights goes fastest briefly. Then the Gaming Wafer takes that away from him. But we're going to go back to the lead of the Grand Prix because it looks like Gaming Burger is going to have a nice run here on Chain Game Wow heading into turn 2. He's got a lot of ERS up his pocket, and he's going to go down the inside now on the race leader of Chain Game Wow, and he's going to get the move done. He's very deep on the brakes, just gets it pulled up, and Chain Game Wow's getting a nice under and over done there. He's going to try and stick his nose down there. He's just alongside by the looks of it. He's going to go down the inside now for turn 3. They leave each other a nice amount of space, and he's going to get that move done by the looks of it. Is Chain Game Wow, so back up into the lead of the Grand Prix. But now, as you can see, Young Lights has caught up to the rear of this train. So has Gaming Wafer. So there's going to be a tight battle here. And it looks like Gaming Burger's now got back into the lead. So I'm not too sure what happened with Chain Game there. He did lead on the exit of turn 3. I didn't actually get that on stream, so unfortunately, I'm not too sure what's happened to him there. As they now head into the penultimate corner. About to start lap 8 of 36. So Christopher's up 10 spots. So he's looking very good at the moment for a potential driver of the day here this afternoon. This is the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix between our top 5 at the moment. Unfortunately, Christopher has his own battle going on at the moment between himself, Nunny, and Ozone. This is 4P6, and he looks like he's going to get the move done. The Williams isn't close enough. He nearly hits him, and he does hit him there. Does the Williams of Christopher, so unfortunately that may have given him wing damage, but I think the racing point now, Banana Cake Pie, is also trying to get a job done, or get the job done on Ferry SF. He's going to have a nice toe down the straight. He's up in an overtake, but unfortunately the Haas car in front of him just had the nice toe of Dr. Dre in front of him. He actually locks up there, does Ferry, so he's using up his tyres a little bit here. Rogue Flash and Veil Beast are now swapping positions into P12 now. The Mercedes driver goes, and he's got rear-ended there by Strauss. Did the Renault driver. That looked like that was completely the Alfa Romeo's fault, so he's going to have a little bit of explaining to do here. Is Strauss. Definitely his fault. Veil Beast was really deep on the brakes, so I was going to point that out, but Strauss was just way too deep on the brakes, and now Brayley gets himself up in a P15 now. I don't think there'll be any damage to Veil Beast's car, but he'll continue on. It looks like the Alfa Romeo of Martin Bell is going to try and make a move here on the Tauros of the Game Wave. He's got a nice run heading into the hairpin. He's not close enough. He's just going to have to sit behind him as he heads into turn 2. Maybe even try and set it up for turn 3s. He's got a nice run heading on the exit there, but the Game Wave had the better secondary run. Strauss is now trying to make another move on Rogue Flash. Down the inside goes the Alfa Romeo driver up into P12. He now goes. Dr. Dre now trying to make a move on Ferry. So Ferry trying to make a move on Dr. Dre. They made contact there. Has the Red Bull on the Haas side. I don't think Ferry will be too happy with that. I think he did lock up the inside front there, did Ferry, so I think it'll be the other way around, actually. I don't think Dr. Dre will be too happy with that he kind of got barged out of the way. But now look who's down the inside. Banana Cake Pie down the inside on the Red Bull car, but unfortunately wasn't able to make the move stick. It's not the most ideal spot to make a move, but he'll try and set it up potentially for turn 2, heading into the hairpin. You see Dr. Dre runs a little bit wide through the penultimate corner, and Banana gets a bit of oversteer in that Racing Point car. Martin Bell, 3-second penalty already. He's currently sitting in P5 at the moment, is the Alfa Romeo driver. Chain Game Well and Young Lights are now going to go side by side. And now it's a McLaren 1-2, so... And now he's been hit, I think! Chain Game Well around our race leader, or previous race leader, and our pole position man just got spun there by the gaming wafer. So unfortunately for him, the two sister teammates have made contact with each other, and he's not going to be happy with that as Chain Game Well. The gaming wafer, I believe, made contact. He didn't really... It looked like a very sudden loss of rear end, so I think he... And judging by the audio cue, it sounded like he did make contact with another car, and the gaming wafer was right behind him. So unfortunately now, the Chain Game Well, here's at the back of that little train for P5. But now, it's a McLaren 1-2 at the moment. So today, Zach Brown will be absolutely laughing at the moment. He'll be loving it. So, Gaming Burger leads his teammate Young Lights in P1 and P2. Gaming Wafer in P3, who has a big question mark next to his name at the moment after that little incident with Chain Game Well. OWR Martin Bell in P4, and Chain Game Well, as we just talked about, down to P5. 90 P6 ahead of Christopher in P7, Ozone in P8, P9 Ferry, who has a very quick charging Banana Cake Pie right behind him in P10. So Banana's also got ahead of Dr. Dre now, so maybe we'll see a maneuver here from the Racing Point car. Ferry got a little bit of oversteer on exit there on turn 1. Banana's up in an overtake, so he's going to try and get the move done here, I believe. Ferry doesn't really defend the inside line, but the Racing Point driver down the inside on the Haas heading into the turn 2. Does he get it done? He forces him out wide. And it looks like Banana's going to get the move done. Neither of these drivers actually got DRS there, so Dr. Dre did those, so now he's going to be battling with Ferry by the looks of it. Is the Red Bull driver. Locks the inside front there. Did Dre. I believe Dre did start on the medium compounded tyre as well, so... Banana Cake Pie now up in a P9, so he's not actually in a bad spot here as Banana. He's got Ozone 3 seconds ahead of him. So the Gaming Wave is now starting to catch up to the rear of Young Lions. And Martin Bell's just within DRS range to the Toro Rosso in front of him. Chain Game Wales actually dropped up massively here. He's lost a second and a half to OWR Martin Bell. Young Lights 3-second penalty, so he's the first of these top five drivers, I believe, now that have a penalty. But the gaming ref is now really catching up to the McLaren in front of him. Gaming Burger has a pretty comfortable lead at the moment. You can see how much deeper the Toro Rosso was under brakes compared to Young Lights. As they now head down this long straight, heading into turn 3, they now will head. Yellow flag in sector 1. It's a Renault, I believe, a Veiled Beast. Yes, it has. So he's actually lost his left end plate there as Veiled Beast. I don't know if he made any contact with Brayley, but I don't think he did. I think he may have just done it on his own and put it in the wall. So he's going to be in for his second pit stop, I do believe now, is Veiled Beast. You see a couple of drivers really mounting that turn 1 curve. I will update you very soon on penalties, but now Chain Game Well into the pit lane. Very early. Actually, no, it's around lap 13, so it's not too early, but I personally would have stayed out for a little longer. The Renault there, our Veiled Beast, has spun around again, I believe. So Chain Game Well will be coming out of the pits down MP15. So it's not actually too early. I thought it was a little bit early, and that's Williams there in front of him. Of V Todd, unfortunately, off into the grass. Heading down the short straight into turn 2, so he will now make an easy position back up into P14, but it looks like Nunny now has been passed. He's in the wall now with Nunny. So I'm not too sure who he just made contact with. I think it was Christopher, so we could potentially see a safety car here, as there will be a lot of debris on track, and he has no M plates here. Has Nunny, so he's going to have to definitely pit here. Is the Ferrari driver. His race has pretty gone bad to worse, and unfortunately she's tried to race there. Rogue Flash with a damaged wing. So he nearly spun round the Mercedes driver in front of him, but he continues on. We're going to go back to the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. It looks like Young Lights are now into the pit lane. So is Christopher. So Ozone will go up a spot now. And Martin Bell. So Gaming Wafer is now under a lot of pressure from the Alfa Romeo behind. Does he drive down the inside? He does. So yeah, down the inside goes the Alfa Romeo driver. Just leaves enough room there, does the Gaming Burger. So Gaming Wafer. And he will hold on to P2 for the meantime. I think we'll see a couple of these drivers now coming into the pits, reacting to the others behind him coming in. Martin Bell's still right there, but I think we will see Berger in this lap. Will we? No, he's continuing out for another lap. He's gaming. Actually, no, he's into the pit, so he didn't really follow the pit entry procedure pretty right there. But now Martin Bell continues, so he's going for another lap. He's going to try and do the overcut here on the McLaren in front of him. So the Toro Rosso. So now Ozone staying out for another lap, so he's continuing. Banana Cake will stay out for another couple of laps. I reckon around to lap 16, lap 17 even. We'll see Banana Cake Pie out too. He has Ferry right behind him in his DRS and slipstream. So will we see a potential move here from the Haas driver? I'll make up for some post-race interviews for you guys. Just thinking about it now, I'm trying to think. So unfortunately, that qualifying little incident there where I was having, I'm going to try and make up with some post-race interviews for you guys with the top 3. I might even try and get the top 5 in. We'll see how we go. But Martin Bell now leads away. Zero, Banana Cake Pie, Ferry, and Strauss will round out your top 5. Gaming Burger comes out P6, so he's provisionally in the lead at the moment. Young Light's provisional P2. Road Flash, I believe, has not made a pit stop. We'll swap this over to pit stop so you guys can see who has and who has not made a pit stop. So Banana Cake Pie is actually in the... Well, he has made a pit stop, has Banana Cake Pie, but he made it on lap 1. So he is still due for another pit stop in this Grand Prix. But while everyone's kind of split up, I'm going to quickly check to see what penalties everyone has. So Martin Bell has a 5-second penalty and a 3-second. So he's on 8 seconds worth of penalties. Ozone has 3 seconds. Banana Cake Pie has 3 seconds on his last warning, but we'll go to our race leader. Burger has 3 seconds. Young Lights has 3 seconds. And we'll just leave it as that for now. So Both the McLarens have 3 seconds, and it looks like we swapped back at the perfect times as now. Chain Game Wow back down the inside of Rogue Flash, and it looks like the 12 Rosso now is going to bang wheels with the Mercedes. He did kind of get forced out wide there to Rogue Flash, but that's the price you're going to pay if you try to hang it around the outside. The Game Wafer now back up into P6, so he's got his eyes on his sister teammate. He's absolutely drilled him here as Rogue Flash. He's definitely going to have front wing damage. I would be highly surprised if he doesn't. Let's have a quick look here. He doesn't have a left end play. No, he does actually, so I am genuinely surprised he does not have any front wing damage. Well, he might have it, but it doesn't look like it visually, but we'll have to see. So will we see Ferry into the pit lane this lap? He is actually on the medium, so he'll be out for a little longer. So Gaming Burger is now caught up to the rear of this pack. 90k Pies also came into the pits. He's come down out in P12. But he will be obviously on fresher mediums towards the end of the race. Gaming Burger down the inside. Pretty textbook move there from himself. And he gets it done, but he does cut the corner though, so that will give him another warning most likely. He's going to have a nice run. Actually, no, he's not really close enough at the moment to get a move done on Ferry, but he might be able to set it up. Heading into turn 3 though, we'll have to see what he's able to do. As he has to defend the inside line there to Strauss. And look, that's Young Light trying to hang it around the outside. Now that's just going to give him a warning here. So unfortunately for him, he's going to get another warning as they continue on. Dr. Dre down in position 15, just got himself a 3-second penalty. So there's about 19 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. They're about to start lap 18. As it looks like Young Lights is a very nice run here on Strauss. Strauss defends the inside line. Young Lights tried to do the under and over, but it's not really the most ideal spot to do an overtake through that final corner. You want to try and set it up for this front straight, which he has done. So he's going to go to the inside line now. Here's the McLaren driver. See, now moves himself up into P3. Will Strauss fight it back? He's going to have a nice slipstream and DRS here, but he's also got to worry about Chain Game Wow right behind him. So Chain Game's really trying to put on a charge here, trying to get himself back up into the where he qualified. Obviously on pole position, but Gaming Burger's looking like he's doing it right at the moment. He's got a second between himself and Ferry, but Ferry has yet to make a pit stop, and his teammate Young Lights is in provisional P2 at the moment. So he's doing a pretty nice job at the moment, his Gaming Burger. He just needs to hold on and he will win this Grand Prix most likely. Strauss is in P4 at the moment, as it looks like Rogue Flash and Brayley have swapped positions. This is a battle between both the Mercedes cars. So it looks like Rogue Flash will get himself up into P7 now, ahead of his teammate Brayley. Is that making a move? It looks like that is Young Lights now making a move on Ferry. So now up into P2, he now goes. Ferry obviously is still yet to make a pit stop, so he's trying to make a move back here as Ferry. He's going to go down the inside of Young Lights. Yellow flag in sector 3, not too sure that's for, but now Ferry down the inside on Young Lights, heading into the hairpin. Does he get it done? He obviously does not have the same grip than Young Lights would have. So now Young Lights will drive away from him most likely. Chain Game Wales also now making a move on Strauss, so he's now going to get himself up into P4. Will the Red Bull driver? He's actually run really deep there, but also did Strauss, so he will hold on to P4 now. So Chain Game Wales doing a pretty nice recovery drive here after having that little incident. I can't remember who now, I'll be honest. Kind of the driver up the most spots is Ferry, but he is still yet to make a stop, so we'll have to see what happens with him. As now Chain Gang gets himself ahead of Ferry pretty easily heading into the penultimate corner. So I think Ferry's realised that it's not really worth putting up a battle at the moment. He just needs to try and conserve his tyres as much as possible. This is the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. 2.8 separate the two McLarens at the moment, so we'll have to see if that does change. As Strauss nearly rear ends the back of Ferry, then he's going to get the move done by the looks of it, heading on the exit of turn 2. So down the inside, He will go. It looks like Ferry's going to try and fight it back though, so he defends the inside line, does the Alfa Romeo driver, but the Haas just realises there that he's not going to have the same grip compared to Stroll, so he will now move himself up into P4, will the Alfa Romeo. Lap 20 of 36, so 16 laps remain in the Grand Prix. Brayley and Martin Bell are swapping positions. Up into P8 now goes the Mercedes driver. I think he was in P8, so I think Martin Bell may have tried to make a move there, and unfortunately wasn't able to make it stick. It's currently the second closest battle on track. Let's say Banana Cake Pie came out in P12 as well after pitting for the second time in this Grand Prix. He has Ozone 3.6 seconds ahead of him, but we're going to go back to this battle because it looks like Gaming Wafer down the inside. Very late move there, and I'm not too sure what I'm looking at the moment, but I'm not too sure what I'm looking at there at the moment, but looks like the Gaming Wafer is going to try and hold it down the inside though. It was a very deep move heading into turn 1, but now he's going to get the move done on Ferry. Up into P5 he now goes, so Ferry's going to start to fall off to this little train here. He's still yet to make a stop. Yellow flag in sector 2. Not too sure who that's for. I think that's just a local yellow. So it looks like Chain Game Whale's actually really, well, much quicker here than everyone else. He's really pulled in Young Lights, and Young Lights is slightly catching up to his teammate here. Rogue Flash is trying to catch up to his teammate, sorry, of Christopher in front of him in that Williams. And Dr. Dre's now got a move done on Nunny. Actually, no, he hasn't because he's run a little bit too deep. I was going to say he ran a little bit deep, but I didn't see another car around, so it looked like he tried to get the move done, but unfortunately wasn't able to. But we're going to go back to this battle for the lead because Gaming Wafer and Strauss have swapped positions here. Ferry is actually coming to the pits now, so he is now into the pits. He'll drop back down behind Banana Cake Pie. Rogue Flash is also into the pit lane. Ozone Zero, 3-second penalty is now, as you saw there, Strauss nearly rear-ended the Gaming Wafer. His teammate's a little bit too far behind at the moment to get a move done. 5 seconds to separate the two Alphas. But the top 5 have all kind of separated now. Chain Game Whale's really caught up to Young Lights though. He looks like he's the quickest driver on track at this stage. So it's still a McLaren 1-2 at the moment. Gaming Burger's kind of holding at that 2.5, 2.6 mark between himself and his teammate. So he just needs to keep that gap and he should be fine. Obviously we'll check later on with penalties as well to see how everyone's going with those. Young Light's 3-second time penalty, so he's now out to 6, I do believe. So that's going to hurt him when it comes towards the end of the race. He's pushing a little bit too hard than what the track limits allow. Looks like Brayley's dropped a couple spots here because he is into the pit lane. So is Strauss. So Banana Cake Pie will come out in P8 here. So he's actually not done too bad of a job here as Banana Cake Pie, considering he had that massive crash at lap 1. He's really not doing that bad. So Banana Cake Pie up into P8. He has Ozone 3 seconds in front of him. As it looks like Chain Game Wales trying to set up a move here on Young Lights. He's trying to keep as close as possible to the rear gearbox of that McLaren in front of him. Obviously Dirty Air will not help him. So he shows him the nose heading into the penultimate corner, just trying to fill up his mirrors here. His Chain Game Whale, another yellow flag in sector 2. I think it's just another local yellow, but I think Chain Game Whale might be able to try and set up a move here heading into their hairpin of turn 2. He won't get it done in turn 1. Doesn't seem to be close enough at the moment. So Young Lights is doing a pretty nice job at the moment to hold on to P2. The Game Wave has dropped off the rear of that little train as well. So Martin Bell will be the next one behind him in P5. Christopher P6, Ozone, Banana Cake Pie. Ferry has come out in P9, obviously on the soft compounder tyre, so he'll be rapid towards the end of the race. I don't know how long they're going to last either, so that'll be interesting to see how he goes. Strauss in P10, Road Flash 11th ahead of Nunny, Dr. Dre, VTOG, Brayley and Iceman down in P16, and unfortunately Both the Renaults have retired from this Grand Prix, so they will not be taking home any points whatsoever this afternoon. But it is still this man that leads the way of the Gaming Burger. He's actually extended his gap a little bit now between himself and his teammate. It's out to 2.9. But obviously these two are starting to battle a little bit more, and Young Lights is starting to feel the pressure from that Red Bull behind him. It's down to 0.2 of a second. So I think Chain Game Wow is really going to try and set up a move here. As you can see, he just doesn't really get the right traction heading out of that first turn compared to Young Lights. But he's going to get a nice slipstream in tow. He's slightly catching. Will he get it done? He's going to try and dive bomb. He's going to get the outside line now. Is Chain Game Wow. Tries to do the under and over. He's going to have a nice slipstream here though. He's really shifting up the gears early. Is Chain Game Wow. So that's going to really hurt him down the straight when it comes to straight line speed. Young Lights tries to defend the inside line. Doesn't get it done though, just Chain Game. But he really shifts up the gears early, heading on the exit of that corner. You can short shift, but once you get into fourth gear, you really don't want to be short shifting anymore, because that's just going to hurt your straight line speed all the way down for that next straight. So now Bergen's got that gap out to 3 seconds. So I believe he only has 3 seconds worth of penalties at the moment, does Gaming Burger. So at this stage, he'll be good no matter what to win this Grand Prix. 11 laps remaining. When they cross the line, it will be 10. Looks like Dr. Dre and Brayley are swapping positions. Obviously these two are on soft compounded tyres, so I think Dr. Dre did just get passed there by Brayley. So up in a P12, Brayley goes. And now Chain Game Wow on Young Lights. So as soon as we swapped away, Young Lights has the better traction though, so I'm not too sure. Chain Game Wow, 3 second penalty. So I'm not too sure. Did those two make contact potentially? It didn't look like from the angle that Young Lights exited the corner that they made contact, but you never know unless you see a replay. So unfortunately for Chain Game Wow, he's got to make up all that time again. So that's just reducing his chances of potentially getting the win here this afternoon. Ozone Zero has now got ahead of Christopher as well for the battle of P6. Iceman and Nunny are swapping positions as Nunny is into the pit lane for a front wing change. As Berger starts lap 27 on 36, 9 laps remaining in the Austrian Grand Prix. Pull up the chat to see you guys commenting. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream as well. Check out our socials as you can see them on screen right now. Our Twitter is at RaceSpec Esports, Instagram race.spec, and Facebook RaceSpec F1 Esports. Be sure to go check those out and leave them a like and a follow. Be much appreciated. But yeah, Gaming Burger is definitely extending his lead at the moment. 3.9 that gap is out to. So Chain Game Wow hasn't really been able to... Actually, he's got back within DRS range of Young Lights now, so having that DRS available to him now will edge him ever so much closer to the rear of that McLaren gearbox. Gaming Wafer is right there in P4 as well. He's running a pretty lonely race. Or a second stint, I should say. Martin Bell is as well. Ozone has Christopher right behind him, and Banana Cake Pie is trying to catch up, but he just doesn't have the grip. I think when it comes towards the end of this race, Banana Cake Pie is going to be one of the quicker drivers, as he did pit a little bit later than some of the other medium runners. .3 of a second separate VTOD and Dr. Dre though, so Dr. Dre starting to feel the pressure now. This is the battle for P13, so obviously no points are available for these guys. But you never know, there's still a couple of laps remaining in the race. Chain Game Wow wasn't able to get a move done on Young Lights, but he's already back to where he was 2 laps ago after having that little mistake, I believe. Young Lights, you saw just ran a little bit wide there heading through turn 5. Into turn 6 he now heads. So you see Young Lights doesn't have the best initial turn in compared to Chain Game Wow. It might give him a slight advantage down the straights, but it just doesn't really... Overall lap time doesn't really help you. As you can see, he really cuts that corner, and unfortunately for Chain Game, he's got a massive amount of dirty air as the race leader starts lap 29 of 36. battle continues on. 2 tenths now separated. So I think Chain Game might try and set up a move here. He's going to have DRS and Slipstream. He's gaining. Will he be able to get the move done? He's going to go down the inside. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it, so he's going to sit back behind the McLaren for another lap's time. Into the pit lane, Dr. Dre actually comes, so does he have front wing damage? That's the only thing I'm thinking he has. No, he's actually coming on for the soft, so I think he may try and go fastest lap here, as there is 7 laps remaining in the Austrian Grand Prix. Now Berger's extended that gap out to 4 seconds, but now there's a 3:10 separate Young Lights and Chain Game Wow, so this is the main battle on the racetrack at the moment. We're going to stay on board with them for the next couple of laps. He's got a very nice run there, did Chain Game. I think he's going to get the move done here. Young Lights is really struggling with straight line speed, but now the Red Bull driver down the inside on the McLaren. Does he get it done very easily there, so the McLaren doesn't put up too much of a fight there. So now Chain Game Wow has ruined McLaren's chances of getting a 1-2 this afternoon, but obviously they'll both be on the podium, so that'll be very good for their constructors' standings. He's trying to fight it back though, is Young Lights, but unfortunately wasn't able to hang it around the outside. So McLaren at the moment are in 8th at the moment on 29 points. So this is going to get on my hand a really good amount of points here this afternoon if they can both hold on to the podium. Obviously Red Bull leading the way at the moment of Chain Game Wow and Dr. Dre down in P15. Try and punt some other battles. Ozone's right now behind Christopher. This is the battle for P6 in this race. You can see Christopher is very slow heading through that final complex of corners. So Ozone's going to have a nice run here heading into turn 1, but he's not going to try and make a move here. I believe he'll try and set it up for the hairpin. As you can see, Christopher, it's a very poor exit through turn 1, and I think Ozone's going to get the move done. He leaves the door open. Does the Williams driver, doesn't really defend it. Looks like they're going to go side by side heading into turn 2. And the Toro Rosso driver now up into P6 for the Grand Prix. Christopher pushed back down to P7. Banana's not really catching up at the moment. It's around 3.3 seconds still separating those two. He has Ferry right behind him. Ferry's obviously on that soft compounded tyre. As now Christopher's actually trying to fight back here. So they're going to go side by side now heading into the second sector. Are these two? This is the battle for P6. And now it looks like the Williams driver's got it back. So back into P6 he now goes. Yellow flag in sector 2. As Dr. Dre also did just go fastest. So he will take home an extra point if he can get himself into the top 10. But it doesn't look like it's going to work that way for him, unfortunately. As this battle continues on, it looks like Ozone's getting better exits out of the corners. But Christopher just had a very nice exit though, speaking of that. As they head into turn 1. Runs a little bit wide, and unfortunately for Zero, he just got himself a 3-second time penalty. So now Christopher will have to defend the inside line. No, he doesn't again, so he's not really defending his position very well here, is the Williams driver. So now the Toro Rosso goes down the inside again at the same spot, and he's going to get the move done by the looks of it. Into P6 he goes, but will the Williams fight it back? He's going to have a nice slipstream here. Zero tries to defend the inside line, but he's going to go back down the inside now. It's Christopher and Ozone around the outside. Wasn't able to get it done. So Ozone's going to be pushed back down to P7 here. As Gaming Burger's about to start lap 33, so 3 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. As we said before, Dr. Dre did actually get that fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he'll take that off whoever had it previously. I'm going to quit. Actually, no, I'm not, because there was a 10th between Young Lights and Chain Game Wow, because they're going side by side, heading into the hairpin. The Red Bull driver has the inside line. Will he push him out wide? They do make contact there to these two drivers, but they continue on. Young Lights will have the slipstream here. No DRS. Actually, he will have DRS. So will he try and slot back down the inside? He does, so he's going to get the move done by the looks of it to the McLaren. Back up into P2 now, making it a McLaren 1-2, but now the Red Bull. The switchback maneuver, and he's going to try and get it done. He nearly bangs wheels with the McLaren, but it's not the ideal spot to hang it around the outside here. He can force him out wide, and that's what happens when you try and hang it around the outside. And unfortunately for Jane Gameway, he's been pushed back down to P3. But I'm really going to quickly take this opportunity to make sure what everyone's penalties are doing for you guys. So Berg is currently on 3 seconds of penalty, so he's definitely clear for the Grand Prix. Young Lights is on 3, 6, 9, and on his last warning, Chain Game's on 3 seconds of penalties. Gaming Wayfar is on 3 seconds of penalties. I'll just go through your top 5 on Martin Bell. 5, 8, 11 penalties for the Alfa Romeo driver. And it looks like he's going to try and get the move done again here. His Chain Game well, wasn't able to get it done this time round. He'll try and set it up again for turn 2 potentially, so turn 3 rather. But Young Lights gets very good traction out of that corner, so he's defending that position very well as the McLaren driver. Now Ozone, Zero and Christopher. We're trying to pass each other there again, but I think Ozone was... I'm not too sure what Ozone was doing there. He kind of took out the braking boards there. So that could hurt some drivers that don't use racing line, but anyway. He nearly rear ends in there, does Ozone, so he's off into the grass now. He's going to rejoin the track, hopefully not too dangerously. He does eventually get back on the track, but unfortunately for Ozone, he's just completely ruined that battle for us. He just ran way too deep into turn 3, so now he's going to be pushed all the way back down to P10. He'll have the 2 Mercedes right behind him. So now that moves Strauss, Ferry, Banana and Christopher up a position. So now Gaming Burger starts his penultimate lap. This battle is still not over for P2 in this Grand Prix. Does Chain Game dive down the inside? He does. So I think what Chain Game really needs to do here is set up a move for turn 3, because he obviously knows that Young Lights is getting very nice traction out of there. So he needs to try and work on that a little bit and try and get the move done here. And unfortunately for Zero, he has retired from the session in the pit lane, so he'll be scoring no points here this afternoon for Toro Rosso. Chain Game, well, still right there. But it looks like Gaming Burger will head through the final corner. 2 more. Well, he will now start his final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's been a pretty clean sailing. It's been pretty clean sailing for himself. But obviously his teammate has the Red Bull right behind him. This is going to be a last lap dash for the second spot on the podium. I think what Chain Game needs to do here, he's going to try and defend here as Young Lights, but he's going to get the outside. Will he get it done? He's going to have to force him out here as Chain Game. Young Lights has now been pushed off, and that's the Red Bull there of Dr. Dre getting out of the way. He doesn't want to get involved. But it looks like Chain Game's actually going to hold on here. So Chain Game got a very nice run out of that second corner. And it looks like he's going to get himself up into P2 now for this Grand Prix. So really nice move there from him. But obviously, Young Lights was never going to hold on to that due to time penalties. And he's nearly spun it there as Young Lights. So he's lucky just to hold it. Very easy to spin the car on that curb. But Gaming Burger has led a lot of this Grand Prix. And he's going to come up through the final corner now. Here's the McLaren driver, and he's going to win the Austrian Grand Prix for McLaren. Congratulations to himself. He's going to take the top step on the podium. Chain Game, wow, has done a very nice recovery drive here this afternoon after the first sort of stint incident. So I reckon he's going to get driver of the day for me, to be honest. Gaming Wafer will come home P3 for Toro Rosso ahead of the McLaren of Young Lights after time penalties. OWR Martin Bell in P5. P6 will be Christopher. P7, by the looks of it, will be Banana Cake Pie. Actually, he gets himself up to P6 now, does Banana. So that's a good job there from Banana. Also a nice recovery drive from him. Strauss will come home P7. P8, Ferry. P9 will be Christopher. And rounding out your top 10 will be Rogue Flash. No, Brayley actually gets up to top 10 now. So he's pushed his teammate back down to P11. Iceman in P12. So Mercedes will score their first points for their season, I believe. They will take home 1 point this afternoon. Iceman P12, P13 will be Nunny ahead of V-Todd in P14 and Dr. Dre down in P15. V-Todd and Dr. Dre obviously to get lapped in the end. But that will be your provisional results for the Grand Prix. Sorry, I must have bumped that commentator's thing again. I apologise, my commentating was really off this afternoon. I was very rushed to get this all started, so I do apologise for that. I do apologise for the rushed broadcast as well, so hopefully I can make that up with some post-race interviews for you guys. But congratulations to our top 3 in the end of Gaming Burger, Chain Game Wow, and the Gaming Wafer. We'll try and get them all in the party for you. As you can see on your screens now, the provisional results for the Grand Prix. Sorry, I'm just trying to message people. Gaming Burger takes a win for McLaren ahead of Chain Game Wow in P2. P3 will be the Gaming Wafer. And then running out your top 4 will be Young Lights for McLaren. So McLaren taking home some solid points here this afternoon. P5, OWR, Martin Bell, P6, Banana Cake Pie, Strawson, P7, Ferry, 8th, P9, Christopher and Rennie at your top 10. For Mercedes taking their first points this afternoon will be Brayley, Road Flash in P11, P12, Iceman, Nunny, VTOD, Dr. Dre, and Ozone. And Dr. Dre was actually the last of the drivers that actually finished the race. Ozone, Vale Beast, and Marco Boda all retired from the session. So Renault has had a pretty poor Austrian Grand Prix, but we're going to try and get a couple of drivers here into the party. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you shortly. And yeah, just stay tuned. I'll put some music on for you guys, and I'll be back in a minute. So here we have our top 3 here this afternoon from the Austrian Grand Prix, the Gaming Burger, the Gaming Wafer, and Chain Game Well. We're going to start with you, the Gaming Burger. Very good job in the end there to win the Austrian Grand Prix. It seemed like you had the pace over the other drivers in the end, but unfortunately with the little incident at the start of the race, I'm not too sure if you saw it, there was a lot of cars at the back there that got into a pile up, and you managed to keep your nose clean.
I completely missed that, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Making it clean out of the first corner, making a clean overtake on Chain Game. It was actually great.
Yeah, it was a good race. Yeah, it was a good race from you, considering you pretty much led the whole second stint. You didn't have any pressure whatsoever from your teammate behind. But we'll move on to you now, Chain Game Well. Unfortunately, with that little incident, I can't actually remember who it was. So if you can give us a little bit of insight on what happened there, that put you all the way back to the rear of the grid, I do believe, and you managed to get yourself up back to P2. So you got driver of the day in the end, but really good job there from yourself.
Yeah, I don't know actually who hit me, if it was the Gaming Wave or that Alpha behind me. Those two were battling, and I pitted early because I dropped a massive pace on the soft. So I did a early undercut on the mediums, and on the mediums, the car came back alive again, and had a great battle with young lads, and that gave me a P2 at the end.
Yeah. Congratulations on that, mate, especially from where you ended up after that little incident. That's a really good recovery drive. You were right behind Young Lights in the end there, but he got himself a couple of penalties, and rounding out our podium here this afternoon, the Gaming Wave. Congratulations to yourself, mate, getting himself onto the podium. I believe you finished P4 on track, I think, but you managed to get yourself onto the podium after time penalties. How'd your race go?
Went pretty good. I think consistency was good, but just didn't have the pace of the top three because they were slipstreaming each other.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with with third place. It's good for the championship. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good job. I believe, is that your first win as well, Gaming Burger, in this series? I believe it is. Is it?
Absolutely.
It is, and it's getting some good points from McLaren as well, so that will move them up in the constructor standings. Obviously, Young Lights had a pretty good performance as well from the other side of the garage, but thank you guys so much for joining the commentary box for some post-race interviews. Good luck for your next round. I don't believe I'll be commentating. I think BK will be back for that, but stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for joining the live stream. That has been your Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Global Series Tier 1. Thank you guys so much for joining. My name is Expert, and I'll see you guys next time.